Hello and welcome, guys. Today we're going to be talking about Black Mirror Season 5, Episode 3, titled Rachel, Jack, and Ashley 2. Let's just hit the ground running and get started. Also, I do apologize technology-wise. I'm going to be moving my screen all over the place, so apologies in advance for that. But, so obviously the big four are that we went over in class are technological determinism, critical theory, and biopower, social construction of technology, and actor network theory. I want to explain first that there is a combination of all of these things inside the episode. It was a really well done episode that brought up many themes. However, I want to focus this lecture on critical theory and biopower due to the fact it just fits the best, and I'll get into that of why. Alright, so what is critical theory and biopower? It was developed by Michael Foucault, and I really like this quote by him that modern power manages life, not just punishes behavior. We also Professor McQueen talked about it in the lecture, but it essentially reiterates the fact that it's kind of changed how, like in the past, there used to be like direct punishments involved in certain behavior. Well, like we see in the episode, there's maybe instances that are directed by something psychological rather than like a direct punishment. And I'll get into that as well. But Foucault's concept of biopower is about how institutions regulate bodies, behavior, life itself. This regulation can be through discipline, services, and normalization. In the episode, Rachel, Jack, and Ashley 2 shows us how technology makes all of this possible, both by controlling Ashley O directly and by shaping fans like Rachel. Ashley O's life is the perfect example of this because she's kind of like the ideal person, the perfect person that everyone strives to be. But Ashley 2, so the robot doll, is like the mirror image of this person. People seem to be buying this tool, this Ashley 2 doll, because they feel like they're friends with the mighty Ashley O in this instance. Ashley O is more of a commodity than a real person due to these dolls. These dolls are literally turning Ashley into a mass-produced cultural object. Fans like Rachel are shaped by this idea of fulfillment that comes through buying Ashley 2, and they're trying to get as much merchandise as they possibly can to feel closer to Ashley. Ashley 2 dolls represent biopower not just on the individual level, but also through populations. They turn Ashley O into a replicable cultural product that helps millions, or that reaches millions at home, normalizing her model of success and identity to fans like Rachel. But alright, here we go. We're going to be talking a little bit about the actual scenes now. So the opening scene starts with Rachel. She's in the cafeteria all by herself. We later learn that she's like new to the school, and that's kind of why she's lonely, I guess. But she leaves the cafeteria and she sees somebody putting up a sign. And on that sign is actually like a talent show poster. So the person putting up the sign asks Rachel, "Do you want to join the talent show?" And Rachel actually just leaves. She doesn't respond to this person. So obviously in this instant she's feeling pressured by her peers to enter the talent show. But the watching and like the judgment of her peers make her feel a little inadequate, maybe some self-consciousness involved in that. So we can kind of see where she's at before she even gets this Ashley 2 doll. Where Ashley 2 gives her like direct feedback, like you can do it, or there's instances where she like criticizes her shyness, that sort of thing. So this is all like the disciplinary gaze, which goes with biopower. Rachel behaves differently knowing that she's being observed, even though this observation is made by an AI doll. The doll is very present. Presence enforces Rachel into conformity. Rachel judges herself through the eyes of Ashley too. So she's like always feeling like this is why, like, in the talent show scene where like she actually does the talent show and she fails at the talent show, she's like, I let Ashley down. What do you mean? Ashley doesn't know who you are, and you're referring to an Ashley 2 AI doll. Like, you didn't let anyone down in this instance. It's like she's not even worried about her peers. She's not worried that she let her sister down or whatever. She's worried about the doll. That's what's kind of unhealthy about that. But the surveillance doesn't necessarily punish her. It kind of reshapes her behavior. So, like I said with that instance, she's actually punishing herself rather than just like someone punishing her, you know. Okay, so now we're getting into. So obviously this is a very similar scene to what I just described, but this is more the practice of when Rachel is working with Ashley 2, like doing her practicing for the talent show. So she's like using that dancing app and that sort of thing. But this idea is kind of representative of self-regulation, especially when she's like doing the dances, doing the practice in front of Ashley. Rachel disciplines her own body and identity solely based on the guidance of the Ashley 2 doll. She isn't using an external force. Instead, the technology is pushing her in the direction of conformity. So this is similar to when Foucault claims that power works most effectively when individuals internalize it and police themselves. So like maybe Ashley was telling her originally to do something, but eventually it just caught up with Rachel, where Rachel's like, oh, this is what I need to do to practice. Rachel begins the episode as, like I described, she's kind of like nervous, shy maybe, and she doesn't like have any interest in the talent show whatsoever. But when she's presented with it by Ashley 2 nudging her, she gives in. And she, like, we actually see her genuinely excited about the talent show and, like, wanting to do it. Whereas earlier on, we had no signs showing this at all. Alright, so this is honestly the biggest reason why I think biopower fits the best with this particular episode is due to the docile body example of Ashley O. But so in the episode, Ashley O, this is the real Ashley, not the robot. She's forced onto these pills by her aunt, and with that, she wasn't taking her pills, so eventually her aunt, like, drugs her, essentially, and, like, puts her in this coma-like state and sedates her. Well, in the process of while she's being sedated and kept in bed, her aunt and her technicians are extracting music from her brain. And this is, like, the perfect demonstration of docile bodies. Ashley, in this representation, is a docile body. She's unable to speak or move, making her feel very compliant and passive. This is useful for Ashley's aunt because all she's using Ashley for in this instance is lyrics. Like, she's able to manipulate the songs to her own way to change the tone of the song, make it a little pop song that she can sell. So Ashley's body no longer serves Ashley at this point. She is being optimized in productivity under an external influence. This is the literal demonstration of how Foucault's idea that disciplinary regimes produce docile bodies that are subjected in practice to institutional ends. Obviously, the institutional end in this instance would be Ashley's aunt and the company that Ashley's aunt is running, like the sales that go probably similar to like the Ashley 2 doll and that sort of thing. But what's scary about this is we actually don't even get to see how far Ashley's aunt is willing to go, like, because obviously with this image we see Ashley as like this hologram. So Ashley is like kind of hitting a larger than life position at this point, and obviously at the end of the episode Ashley stops her because she's out of the coma. She gets freed from the coma. But we don't truly know how far Ashley's aunt would have went just to make some money, which is, I think, very scary. Alright, so this episode asks us to consider how our own technologies discipline us into docile consumers. And just like Rachel, we often regulate ourselves under this gaze of all these technologies without realizing how much they shape our own behaviors. The episode mirrors our own relationship with like pop stars, influencers, merchandise, any of those sort of things. We're encouraged to reflect on how we buy products. So similar to like Rachel, how she buys all the products to feel closer to Ashley O. Is that really something that's true? Is that really something that she is? Is she actually being closer to Ashley O by buying these dolls and like all this posters, all these things? Probably not, right? Well, watching Rachel self-regulate under Ashley 2 makes us think how we should model our own lives under these cultural icons. I'm not saying don't buy things because of a cultural icon. It's just it might not be the direct message that you think it is. So the show positions us to question how much of our identity is shaped by the disciplinary gaze of media, our peers in technology. The goal is obviously to kind of be as individual of a person as you can be. So just keep those things in mind in your life, and hopefully you learn something from hearing me talk about this mini lecture. And thank you guys so much for listening.